What's the dumbest way you've gotten a scar? I was headbanging my hair dry in the bathroom. I hit the counter. I was 8. My cousin scratched my face because I was very ill and everyone was taking care of me, so she got jealous and Oddie noticed for a long time because they were focused on getting my temperature back to normal. Trust fall with my brother. I trusted him. I fell. I was in middle school and we were going to see Coach Carter in theaters with the boys b-ball team. Middle school me was pumped. While in the shower I thought Coach Carter I bet they do push-ups in that movie. I'ma do push-ups right now. Tried to do a wall push-up, slipped, smacked my face on the edge of the tub and split my upper lip open from mouth to nose. Needless to say, did not make it to the movie. I was trying to squeeze between two cars. One of the cars must have had a jagged purr because it sliced a 2-inch in my leg. I got hit on the bridge of my nose by a ceramic toilet seat when I was learning to like a big boy. Now I think about it, that's probably the best outcome there. I was 7. Mum said don't use that knife to cut that orange. I used that knife to cut that orange. Things I learned. Orange juice in a wound stings, but not as much as the knowledge you can't go crying to your mum. I used a pressure washer on my foot. Fir needle cut me across the wrist while playing hide and seek out in the woods. A fir needle. For my 8th birthday, a classmate got me something like a grow your own stalagmite kit you could buy at educational stores. Apparently, the purpose was to add water to some powder material and use a funnel in the kit to drip it down to make your own cave. Features exciting, I know. Anyway, I kept it, and the other birthday presents I got in a cardboard box in my room. Evidently, at some point, moisture got into the box and the plastic. The powder was in, and it began expanding. Having nowhere else to go, the stalagmite material oozed its way out through the narrow slits in its box and hardened into razor sharp edges. I found this out quite bloodily when I put my hand into my birthday box to grab another toy and pulled it out with permanently altered fingerprints on my thumb, index, and S. Boys from my class were throwing CDS like you throw frisbee. One of those hit me right between the eyes. Still got a small scar there. Playing Mantis immediate made the campfire area base. I was running for my life to get there, jumped this huge pile of firewood, tripped over something, and rolled right into the fire. It cold been so much worse, but I only burned my elbow and some of my hair. It's been probably 15 years and the scar is only about 3 inches long and 1 wide. Lazy me liked to iron clothes while wearing them. When I was 20 years old, my left arm can testify. I have a scar on my forearm from a weaponized paper airplane I taped razor blades to and launched with a rubber band. Edit. Holy, had no idea what I was getting into when I posted this. Thanks for the upvotes and awards everyone. Going to try and post some pictures. Edit. Photos of the monstrosity. Sadly, this happened when I was 22. In the Air Force as a 3D0X2 it sliced my forearm open. On launch I enlisted the help of another member of our shop to help me destroy the evidence and drive me to the base hospital to get stitches. I got cut by a vacuum. I have 2 from when I was a kid, running around in the dark on a school roof, tripped over and ripped my hand to shreds, jumping and sliding on a door that had been kicked in, jumped straight onto a nail that went in my knee. I was a kid. I've got bitten by a guinea pig. Worse than that, a friend of mine was bitten by a snail. Edit. As u/Flumpybum pointed out, snails don't bite as they don't have teeth, but a wee rasp-like tongue. I'm aware of that, but writing getting licked by a snail until it hurt cold led to confusion. 7-year-old me was helping my mum iron clothes. I pulled on the cord, the iron fell, and smacked me right in the face. I still have a scar above my right eye. Edit. Whoever gave this a wholesome award, come on bruh. I tried cutting open a lemon with a fork. Edit. The fork slipped and entered my hand, but I guess the sharp lemon theory will do. Thanks for the award, kind stranger. Was about 4, broke a glass jar and sat on it. So I broke my right arm when I was a kid, then decided to put a cast on me. My skin under my cast is so itchy, it's like my skin is alive. When 2 months have passed, I decided to scratch my skin under the cast using a pen. Since my fingers couldn't reach further areas while doing so, I accidentally put the pen further away inside, that I can't remove it under my cast. Since I can't reach it, then I just ignored it after that, thinking that it will be just fine. And I didn't tell that to my parents, since they would be mad. After 2 months, they decided to remove my cast, since it's already due. But the night before removing my cast, my mom noticed that my arm smells rotten. So fast forward, they removed the cast in my arm in the hospital. Then they noticed that the pen was penetrating my skin for months, and the hole is about the size of a penny full of pus. I didn't even feel a thing after that. The hole eventually became a penny-sized scar in my skin. My brother, sister and I all have the same kind of scar in our left eyebrow, and got them at the same age. My brother opened an empty dresser drawer and smacked himself in the face. My sister ran into a brick wall, and I fell off the couch onto a coffee table. Edit. I'm amazed how much this comment blew up throughout the day. Dreads of comments. I took the time to read each and every one of them. Took a while, but I did it. Couldn't help but upvote each one. It was a pleasure reading each story, and it's crazy just how many of us have the same scar from a coffee table. Much love, everyone. When I was 5, I was spinning around in the living room and then fell face first into the coffee table. I have a scar on my forehead from that. My mother and brother were arguing about ice cream cone sizes, so my brother stormed off. I followed him back to a villa thing we were staying at. He didn't have a key and we didn't want to wait, so I just punched through the glass in the sliding door to make an entrance. There were probably 1,000 other safer ways to do it, but it just seemed the quickest. Ice cream cone sizes, man. Don't touch the iron, it's hot. Can't be that hot. Narrator, it was. I have one on the back of my hand from rubbing the skin off with a pencil eraser longer than the other kid did when I was 13, just to prove I was tough. When I deliberately cut myself, not seriously, I just wanted the word ninja on my hand. Don't ask me why. Okay C's, whatever you do, don't put your finger in the boiling sugar, because it's real hot, and it sticks to you. Puts finger in boiling sugar. Drunk and leaned down to kiss a strange dog on the nose. Of all things, 27 stitches down my nose later. Was a kid, only around 10 or 11, thought my iguanas were fighting, so I went to take the boy off the girl. Spoiler alert, they weren't fighting, and I don't blame him one bit for biting me when I tried to break up him getting laid. Lifting a small supermarket trolley over a wall to impress a girl, cut my arm on 2 nails sticking out from the top of the wall. Punching concrete. Don't ask why I did it. I have no clue. Edit. Why is it every comment I fall asleep after making that blows up? I gave myself a scar across my eye because I was watching Revenge of the Sith and thought it would look cool. Was in the Scouts whittling a stick for funsies, except I was pushing the blade in the wrong direction and whittled my index finger instead. My cat decided one day that feeding him was not enough and full on grappled onto my arm, digging and deep. Got a pretty nasty infection from that, and now I've got 2 nasty scars next to my wrist. I climbed up the drain pipe of a school, put my thigh in the E. That's supposed to stop me from climbing, didn't stop me from getting to the roof. Edit. Spelling. I got on 4th of July and fell in a utility hole thing in my friend's yard and then got sunburned, so the scar never healed properly. I have many burns from the oven from my first year at uni. I didn't have oven mittens, so I just grabbed everything with my bare hands. Second year I was prepared. Got mittens first attempt as I was taking a baking tray out of the oven. It slipped from the mittens and burned my inner elbow. Still got that one. I was heating up oil in the pan for the chicken. A chicken fillet slipped out of my hand and onto the handle of the pan. The pan flipped and launched the boiling hot oil all over my hand. It hurt a lot. Changing tire on my GF's best friend's Audi had angrily argued, "I'm a man, I don't need no help," when GF asked to ice jack was on oil-soaked asphalt. The Audi had other issues. Right as I went to remove the tire, creak wham, the jack slips, and my hand is pinned between German crafted metal fender well and a tire. My GF runs outside to see, while a little girl screamed. Finds me stuck Pain significantly increases my tonal range, apparently. Pulls on car desperately. No luck, consider that I may have to wait for a 8.4 never seen neighbor emerges from apartment. Lifts car off about 6 inch straight up, freeing my hand, then disappears not to be seen again. Rushed to the by panicky faint at sight of blood. GF. Then to orthopedic somehow missed all the bones. Just a flesh wound 1x0.5 scar to this day still with GF. Married 25 years, always let her help if she asks now. Kicked a refrigerator as hard as I could while wearing slippers after my sister told me she was getting a horse. Fridge won, but I did get a dent in the. Teacher, go to lunch, but do not run. I'll be watching you all. 8-year-old me proceeds to walk to lunch facing backwards, checking to see if the teacher is still watching. She is. Eventually I accept defeat, turn to walk forwards, and collide headfirst with a piano. I used to thoroughly enjoy sliding down grassy hills as a kid. One fateful luge led to me running over a hidden rock, resulting in a permanent rear tire puncture, my right cheek. I have multiple scars on my thumbs from slicing my thumb open on cans of ravioli and spaghettios. Cutting a pretzel open to put her in it, I cut my right ring finger. I have a white dot from where a wasp stung me almost 20 years ago. I punched a pint glass one night when I was back in college. It ended up slicing my finger really badly, like there was a flap of skin that came up. Went to the bathroom and ran it underwater, but it just kept bleeding. I didn't know what to do and was too to try to deal with it, so I just wrapped my hand in a towel and tried to go to sleep. Woke up to knocking at my door, and it ended up being security. He followed a trail of blood from the bathroom to my room and wanted to make sure I was alright. I showed him my finger and he was like, come on, you gotta go to the hospital. Dude was a bro and drove me there, even though it was like 3 AM. Saw a doctor and he had to give me a bunch of stitches. He said I was very lucky because if it was just a tiny bit deeper I would have probably had done permanent damage and lost mobility of the finger. Now I have this scar on my finger, shaped like an Ike's whoosh, to remind me not to be and try to fight glass. My government stored 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate alongside fireworks in a warehouse at the port near a residential area for 7 years, until they blew up in the biggest non-nuclear explosion ever, shattering the glass window I was sitting by in my house, and giving me a nasty scar on the arm. I always see landscapers using whackers without the plastic safety cover on the end of the things. I said to myself, yeah, those things are, it's holding me back. Removed mine and promptly whacked a beautiful series of scars all over my ankle. That all happened in less than 1 second. But I was younger and dumber than it was 2 weeks ago. Bit myself. I saw something I didn't want to forget and thought I'd remember it every time I saw the scar. Realistically, I wasn't going to forget it anyway. I remember thinking I'll regret this scar, even as I was doing it. Was probably 10 when I fought with my younger brother over who gets to use the knife first to slice our own fruits, and I tried dyeing it from him. I still have one scar on each of my first 4 fingers, forming a straight line from that cut. Lol. Reaching into the oven to pull out a pie, my forearm made just a little bit of contact with the upper rack. For a second I pulled away right when it hurt, but now I got a little scar from it being so hot. The reason is so dumb. I love that I got a badass looking scar from it. I didn't want to go to work one day when I was about 18, so I cut across the top of my foot with a sharp knife in such a way I needed 14 stitches. I told them I dropped it on my footling in Apple. What a fool am I. Tripped over a football and destroyed my nose and forehead. It didn't leave a scar, but I think it has something to do with the fact that I basically can't smell anything. This happened when I was 6. Cat. Mom, don't pinch that leg now, you'll get a scar. Me, you can't tell me what to do. Women, get scar. My friend had one of those plastic bag sealers, and I thought, I wonder how that works. Instant heat, put my finger on the contact point and burned the out of my finger. Still have the scar 18 years later. 3-year-old me thought it would be fun to pull on an iron's cord, and as luck would have it, the thing fell right on my arm. What's even funnier, my nanny thought it would be best to just put me in the tub and not tell my folks until they got home. Silver lining is I was way too young to even remember the pain. Slipped in the bathtub when I was 3 in Disney World and smashed my chin on the tub faucet. Then 2 days later on the same trip I was walking along the curb on the sidewalk and slipped and cut my eye open. Got a free Winnie the Pooh doll out of it though.